Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my final Q&A video because, of course, today is February 8th. The premiere of The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 9 is tonight. The Walking Dead finally returns on AMC. All right, man, so it has been quite a wait since we saw Coda. I want to thank all you guys for continuing to, watch the channel, watch the videos, contribute, send in your questions for the Q&As. This would be 17. So we really did do, a ton. We talked a ton about all kinds of different stuff with regards to the series, and I feel like it's been a pretty good, time period in between, having lots of things still to talk about. Did the 7 Days of Dead, so let me know what you guys thought about that right in the comments below. If you missed it, it was 7 days where a full week, 7 straight days, where we did throwback reviews, one a day, to some of the most important episodes in the series thus far. So if you got some time today before the premiere, you want to watch any of them, check the channel. Got 7 of them straight there that are some of the more important episodes from the earlier seasons, mainly Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, just the premiere. So that said, yeah, have enjoyed the wait. It hasn't been too bad, and it's gone by pretty quickly for me anyway. Been busy throughout the season. Of course, Christmas season, everything, very busy with work and all that. And finally very excited to see the return of it tonight. So let me know what you guys think. And of course, the review will be posted pretty much as soon as I get it for you guys. As soon as I can, watch the episode, make my notes, do everything like that, do the review, post it for you guys tonight as soon as it's done. So within about an hour usually of it airing, which means I'll be working on those videos first before I'm going to be able to get to see Better Call Saul, which is unfortunate, but I'll have to do all the Walking Dead stuff first, then watch Better Call Saul, and then post my review for Better Call Saul afterwards because, well, let's be honest here, The Walking Dead takes priority, even though I am extremely excited to see Better Call Saul and review it, and I do intend on reviewing that show pretty much straight through, just like I did with Breaking Bad once I picked it up, because Breaking Bad was amazing, and Bob Odenkirk is awesome, and I can't wait to see Better Call Saul as well too. So that was one of the questions from YouTube user Matt Foster. Wanted to get that out of the way right away. Yes, going to review Better Call Saul, but don't know when I'm going to be able to get it posted because we're going to be doing the Walking Dead reviews and the stuff I usually do. Review, prediction for the next week, and people seem to like me, counting down top 5 best parts of the episode, best moments in the episode. So do that, and then any discussion topics for this week, as well as usual. You guys know how I usually do things. Send me your discussion topics after you see the video, anything you want to focus on, anything you want to talk about, and then we can do videos, 7 days a week, pretty much straight through. I think I can pretty much do it, through this whole, this whole half season. As usual. You guys know, those of you who've been here, what it's going to be like, so it's going to be the usual. So let's get into a few questions. Let's answer a few. Let's talk for a bit, and then, of course, see you guys again tonight. So the first question is from Danish Man. And he says, hey, Trev, I've got a question for your Q&A. Did you hear that apparently a character from the spin-off series will appear in a 6-episode arc during the 6th season of The Walking Dead? Who do you think it will be? What are your thoughts? Now, this one for me is really odd, because we were told all the way through by Kirkman and everybody else that there were going to be no crossovers between the two. There was not going to be any characters in the initial Walking Dead original series that were going to cross over into the spinoff. So that to me is really weird. And I did some research to find out where that came from. And apparently that came from Nerdist. And I don't know, where, of course, the owner of Nerdist, or at least I don't know if he owns it, but he's like the main guy is Chris Hardwick. He does Talking Dead, of course. So you guys would recognize, him. So he owns Nerdist, which is like a big site, and also they have a YouTube channel, and it's a YouTube network too. Certain people are with Nerdist and that kind of thing. I think Chobot, who was with IGN before, she's like the Nerdist rep for presenter for their videos. I think she said that in a video, so I'll have to research that to see if that's if that's true. Maybe she heard something from Chris Hardwick that there was going to be a character that crosses over, but up until now, I was told all the way through in interviews and everything, when Kirkman was asked, as well as the others were asked, that the new series has to stand on its own, and as a result, there's going to be no crossovers. However, I would like to see it. I'm not against it. I just have heard otherwise all the way through. So you never know with internet stuff. Somebody will say something and it can get twisted, and how much information do they have? This kind of thing. So we'll see if there's going to be a crossover. The Walking Dead spinoff TV series starts, I believe at the end of this year, roughly. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be filming it. I don't think it's going to be airing in the summer. I think it's going to be airing after the break, after the first half of season 6 for The Walking Dead. Maybe they'll do it during like the December break. It's only 6 episodes anyway, the first season, but it should be good. And if there was a character, I would go with Morales. I think he's a good choice. To use for something like that, because he's kind of that last character that was in the beginning, and they could make he could be a main character in the spinoff. So I don't know though. I'd have to do some more research and look into what she said and where their sources are from that. If she heard that from Chris or where that came from, I don't know. Next one is from TH3 Walking Dead, or The Walking Dead. What do you think The Walking Dead would be like now if Frank Darabont stayed for all 5 seasons? So what would the series be like if the original creator Frank Darabont, had stayed all the way through? Well, we've done a number of videos talking about it. I may have been asked a similar question to this prior. It might be even better, but it's hard to say. I think that he left the show mainly because he is a big quality guy, right? So his quality filter, a lot of the stuff that they were doing in season 2 didn't pass his QA, so to speak. He's like, this isn't good enough. That's not good enough. We have to redo this. We need more budget. We need to do bigger things. So he just wanted the show to be even better than it was already. And the show was amazing already. So, had he have been there, I just think the show would have been just even better, because he would have been pressing for more stuff, pressing for bigger stuff. And it would have been worth it for AMC, because the show's is so big right now. Who knows? It could be even bigger with Darabont if he would have stayed. I don't think it would have been worse. Let's put it that way. I don't think it would have been worse. I think it would have been even better. But that's just my opinion. It depends who you ask and what people think. So, but those are my thoughts on that. That said, it did turn out really well anyway, so you never really know. Next one's from Nani Me, and she says, did you start reading the Walking Dead comics before watching the series, or the other way around? And what's your first impression after watching what was your first impression after watching the very first episode? So great question from Nani Me. So I read the comic book series about a year prior to the TV series starting. And because, first of all, I love comic books. I love figures, love comic books, love all that stuff. Read the Walking Dead comic book series, started reading it around the time they were at the prison, before the governor, before all that, or just like when they were just starting during the governor's story arc and that kind of thing. And as soon as I read the first issue, I was hooked. I stayed up late. I think I only slept like 4 hours because I read every issue of the series straight through, as soon as I was able to check it out and heard about it and everything. So yeah, man, I mean, that was the first time for me, and seeing a lot of the events like the death of Lori and Rick, certain things happening to him in the comic book series that hasn't in the TV series, just because of how difficult it would be to do it. But the comic book series originally for me was what blew me away. When I found out they were doing a TV series, my first kind of impression after watching the first episode was, at first I was like, okay, this is amazing. How long is this going to last? Is it going to be just one season of 6 episodes? We didn't know what to expect from the series, but I was blown away as soon as they started, because I was like, wow, this is actually just as good as the comic book series, if not better. They've actually, they've taken the initial storyline and they've expanded on it. They've given Morgan a better, bigger part. They've added things. The visuals are amazing. The horseback scene with Atlanta. They've actually improved on the initial story, at least for the first little part. Now, the Walking Dead TV series, they've added some other things and stuff, and I would have to do another comparison of which one I think is a better story overall up to this current point. But usually, I go with the TV series, especially with the governor stuff and all that, and Shane and Pryor. So the TV series has just blown me away. But my impression after watching the first episode was just that I thought the show had amazing potential, and that it was pretty quickly going to become the best zombie story that anybody's done so far. Because zombie movies and stuff previous to that really weren't that great. Like, they were good. There were some really great. I loved them, but the story, it always ended at the end of the movie. And I agree with Kirkman this. He's talked about this in interviews. It's always annoying at the end of a zombie movie because you've got all these survivors, and usually they either kill them all off or they're left in limbo, and you don't know what happens to them. If they survive on, you don't know because it's the end of the movie, right? But with The Walking Dead, we actually get to see it all the way through, and even continuing. So Rick is a monster survivor, amazing survivor. He's still alive to this point, and he's still going all the way through, rather than just being an hour and a half and then Rick gets killed off at the end, or he survives, but we don't know what the next step is. If they'd have made a movie in just one movie, it'd be like, okay, he finds his family, that's great, and at the end he kills Shane. But then blank, right? Unless they do another movie, blank. You don't know what's going to happen past that. So that's why I love the TV series, because you get to see it all the way through, and the comic book series too. Long running. It's my favorite. All my favorite series are long running. They're not short running. Even like DBZ and all the other stuff I love, it's all long running stuff. It's not short stuff really, because I love to get into a story and follow characters through a long period of time, not a short time. But great question. Next one is from Davis Fleming. He says, do you think there will be a future for baby Judith, and what will it be? Man, that's a tough question, because in the comic book series there isn't, right? So the TV series, she's actually survived on longer than the comic book series than she did, right? So with the TV series, it's like, okay, what are they going to do with her, and how hard is it going to be to take care of the baby when they're on the road? That's going to be really, really tough to have to take care of the baby when they're out fighting for their lives and stuff, right? I mean, I think they're going to do it, and I don't think they're going to kill off the baby at this point. But they could make like a half season out of that or something. They could do a lot with that. But I tend to think they're going to probably keep her alive, and that she'll survive onward for, maybe 5, 10, 20 seasons even. She could become grown up, or she could grow up at least a little bit. It would be really, really cute to have a character like that in a zombie apocalypse. How different would that be? You have like a little girl at the age of like 2 or 3 or 4 in a zombie apocalypse. It's just something, right? So I don't know. I think that'd be cool if they kept her alive, and I think that's what they probably will do. Next question is from Bring the Ruckus, Wu-Tang Clan fan, maybe? I don't know. That's old school Wu-Tang. Hey, Trev, do you think we will see a natural disaster in The Walking Dead, such as a hurricane or blizzard, something that could clear out a large area of walkers, allowing the survivors to retake a portion of the country? I think you got to watch Z Nation, man, if you want to see stuff like that. They've done a lot of stuff like that. Zombie NATO, the zombie tornado. They've got Tsunami. It's like a zombie tsunami. It comes through. It's like this humongous herd, like miles wide. It's like a force of nature. And then nukes and all kinds of other stuff. So watch that if you want to see that. But I think we're going to see a big storm, coming through pretty soon. And that's different. I like that, because that's different. We haven't really seen like, a huge storm in a zombie apocalypse. Like, how hard would that be if they just came through this huge, even in real life too, like the snow we got, recently, just some kind of huge storm, like a hurricane or just a really strong storm in a zombie apocalypse where they don't have a home base. I think that's what we're going to see, and I think it's going to be awesome. But I don't think we'll ever see like a hurricane or anything like that, or snow at all, because they film during the summertime. They don't really have a choice, right? The spinoff series could potentially do something like that, but based on the location, it's in Cali, right, or Los Angeles. So I don't know. Do they get snow there? I don't know. I have to look that up. Someone from LA, tell us right in the comments below. Next question is from Whatever, and he says, in the episode Clear, Morgan threatened Carl, Rick, and Michonne. Do you think he robbed everyone who came across him? So he basically was going to rob them pretty much, right? If you remember. Well, first of all, he couldn't see them because he had the helmet on, right? He had the visor, and he couldn't see it was Rick. His hair's longer. He doesn't look the same. He doesn't know Michonne. He doesn't know Carl. So to him, he just saw random people, right? He didn't see Rick. He didn't know for sure it was Rick. Plus, he's kind of crazy, and he's used to people wearing dead, zombie faces and stuff. So he doesn't really know what's going on. He's kind of out there. He doesn't really know. But yeah, my interpretation is he got all that stuff from people coming by. Like, he got tons of stuff, and the amount of people he had to kill is probably in the dozens. It's probably more than Merle, who killed 20 something people, survivors, not zombies. Morgan at this point is like a force to be reckoned with, I would say. And he's going to be a really cool character to see when he meets up with the rest of the group. I'm expecting that to be kind of the big, this season maybe finale or, big thing is when he meets up with the rest of the group. I think that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see that. That should be great. In the episode Clear, I did a throwback review for Clear. That's probably why he asked this question. But if you guys are interested, check out that review on Clear, since we focus more on Morgan and talk about that some more. There's other videos I've done on Morgan too. Just search the channel if you want to see them. Next one's from Cigar Nika, and he says, do you think The Walking Dead producers producers should bring Glenn Mazzara back for All Out War when it will happen in the TV series. The possibility of it happening is entirely another matter, but I'm curious. What do you think about it, Trev? Well, yeah, I've kind of talked about this before, and I think that's where you got this from when I talked about season 3. Glenn Mazzara, I think, would be amazing to bring back, because I think he left on pretty good terms. They could bring him back, just to help with All Out War, I think, because I think it makes sense, because he's really great with the action stuff. He really is. I mean, he's like an action director, I think, or a showrunner, to me anyway. He'd be great on any action series. So, I think they should. Scott Gimble's going to get tired eventually, right? How many seasons, with that job? It must be like the hardest job ever. And, season after season after season, when we get to that point, they may want to do that. I think it'd be a good idea. Eventually they should send Frank Darabont a "we're sorry" card and, be like, okay, we're sorry. Here's $5 million. Come back in the show. Would they do that? No, but they should, because there's lawsuits and stuff going on with them anyway for millions anyway. So, but they should do that. Just get more people involved to keep the quality up, to keep the show going for the long run. It'll be good for the stability of the show in the long term to have a lot of really talented people involved in the background, right? I think it's important. And he had other ideas for great stuff to add on, even if him and Robert Kirkman might have clashed a bit. I think that they should have. Glenn Mazzara is the same, great action stuff. Love to see what he had in season 3. So I'd like to see him come back. Yeah, it's awesome, man. Zom F. Soft, he says, do you think they will ever give Daryl Rick's Pete story from the comic books, considering Daryl's childhood? So this is a great question from him. What he means by this, and I'll explain this because you guys may not understand where we're going with this. In the Alexandria Safe Zone, when they get there, this is kind of spoilery, by the way, for the comic book series. TV series could be different. There's a character named Pete, and he's a doctor, I believe, but he's kind of, he's a little nutty, he's a little crazy, and he beats his son. So he gives his son a black eye, and Carl sees him, and they kind of see the shiner and stuff, and they kind of wonder, like, where did he get this black eye from? So Zomsoft is saying, do you think it makes more sense that they would give that storyline to Rick to Daryl versus Rick? Because with Daryl, he's got that defensive kid thing, right? Because he was hurt as a kid too. That is such a good prediction, man. I mean, that fits 100%. That if Daryl saw that, he might be inclined. Plus, it'd make all the female viewers love Daryl even more, and it'd be within character, and I think it would be a perfect storyline for season 6. So we could see that in season 6, and I think that's a great prediction. It makes a lot more sense for Daryl because they've already kind of built it up to that. It just, the shoe fits, just wear it, right? It makes perfect sense to me. We'll do a couple more. Next one's from one Stefan K, and he says, what country do you think is the most zombie safe? At least, and the least zombie safe. Well, the least would probably be like the most, the highest population. So like China or something like that has a huge population, or Japan or something, because just because of the landscape, and they have enough problems with natural disasters there as well, right? So any place that has like a huge population is heavily dense, right? The best location might be something really cold, to be honest, Canada wouldn't be too bad because there's a lot of room, right? A lot of space, and you have the winter here. You could just if you went up north pretty far, there isn't people are not around. It would take zombies forever to get there. By the time they walk there, their bodies would be in shambles. Or it would be like, the winter would just, if they were out roaming in the wintertime up north in Canada, they would just be, their bodies would just like crack, and, the bones would freeze, and then when they went to move, boom, they would just fall apart. So Canada would be a pretty good spot, actually. Just go up north. Russia, you can't go wrong with that. Just, again, same situation, anywhere, anywhere really high north, right? Anywhere like that. Bad spots would be anywhere with high population, I think, anyway. Any places that you can't escape to, that's bad too. If it's like an island or something, it can be good, but it can be bad at the same time if a breakout happens there. Cool. So let's do maybe one more. Okay, this one's from Thalis95, and he says, do you think we'll ever see our main characters get completely torn apart on screen like in the old Romero movies? I think it would send shockwaves amongst the audience if we saw someone like Carol, Daryl, Maggie, Glenn, anybody you want really get literally torn in half. Something really dark and cruel like that happens often in Game of Thrones, as you know. But do you think they would risk upsetting fans that much since the show is so popular? So great comment from Thalis. Yeah, that's dark. That's really dark. So let's explain first. So for people that don't know the Romero Dead movies, right? Like Day of the Dead, there are certain survivors that get killed off by zombies. But a lot of times when they do it in a big way where like you'll have the villain in Day of the Dead. He gets torn apart to the point where his body is just destroyed. Like his whole body gets just ripped apart. Like his guts get ripped. It's just gross, man. So I don't know with cable what the restrictions are. HBO could do it, but the restrictions with basic cable, with AMC, what they could do with having like a character get totally like ripped to pieces or something. They do it with zombies. But with a survivor, it's different. You know, we kind of saw a little bit with Dale, but not that much, just a little bit. But I think Thalos here is talking about like a character getting totally like decimated. Season 2 had a little bit of that. Like near the end of season 2, they had a little bit of that with Jimmy, right? He got smoked by zombies. He got smashed. Dale, and yeah, you know, that'd be cool to see. You know, if they had like a really important character, like somebody really important, and just had them just get absolutely ravaged. But it'd be so dark and depressing and such a brutal death that the shock would just be huge. But they could do that like a season finale. And they also, it doesn't have to be like a good survivor character. They could do it with a bad character too, and just have them get totally just ripped apart by zombies. But yeah, again, like you said, it'd be pretty dark, and it's a bit risky too, a little bit risky. So yeah, so I guess I'll call it here. That's pretty much everything. I mean, I've gone through so many questions. Sorry if you guys sent a question I didn't include it here. It just didn't make sense for the Q&A, or I didn't. Sometimes it's just the randomness of when you sent it and when I'm making the list, right? So, because I get so many. But yeah, definitely enjoy the episode tonight, guys. I hope you do. And you know, wanted to get one video out today for you guys prior to the airing, just to kind of express how excited we are and stuff, and you know, talk about how excited are you guys. Write in the comments below. What are you looking forward to most in the second half of The Walking Dead season 5? And of course, I hope to see you guys tonight. Yeah, so I'm really excited. Anyway, yeah, let's end it here, and I'll see you guys tonight after the episode airs. Enjoy it, guys. I hope you do, and yeah, we'll talk after. Anyway, if you like this video, please thumb it up below. If you want to support the channel, please share it. Please favorite it. If you're new to the channel, you want to subscribe, you want to get these videos every day in your subscriber feed, go ahead and subscribe. That's it for this one, guys. See you tonight. Trev, peace.